That's the nature of euphoria, is the absence of a harassment. Peak experiences can be made out of a really big negative, and you release it and you get a big positive, and then you just go back to the mundane. Or you can have a lot of little negatives, just a lot of little irritations, poverty, DWI, blah blah blah, and then you have a release of freedom from those worries or concerns. We don't know what the unharassed state is, because we can only achieve that through some sort of meditation or great discipline. And it is a good state, so that the true evil of life is the fact that it is making good out of the removal of the whip. We are whipped by the game, whipped from the moment of birth, and we are chasing comfort. We're chasing the removal, a place to escape the whip. And you can sort of see that in most of culture, the obligations of life, sickness, work, the crap that happens, the obligations and the tediousness and all that kind of crap. And we see that we really are just striving to unburden ourselves. We're striving to retire. Most illegally used drugs are called painkillers. And it's not for an inaccurate reason. It's because that's what they do. Again, I would argue that even if you could make the argument that your goods are real goods, the fact is your victims are experiencing real bads, and you're never going to be able to unweave that. You're never going to get your oxygen without tormenting animals for no damn good reason. And as long as that fact exists, you're done. And as long as the fact exists that children will be born mongoloid and retarded and deformed, and experience all kinds of horror, as long as that's a fact, you have no game to play, because you're a sadistic torturer by fact, not by somebody's assumption or presumption. These are the factual realities. This is what life on Earth costs. We would be absolute assassin bugs if it wasn't for the fact that intelligence, we gained more of it through language, and then we gained all the tool building that made possible, because we could store information outside of our heads. If it wasn't for that ability, we'd still be just using our intelligence like a hammer. The only application of intelligence would be in some selfish manner. And the very fact that we have gained enough intelligence to gain a perspective. Now we can see a lot more. The map is huge. But the truth is that your intelligent mind can understand that you're a deviant, completely conditioned, and incredibly trivially motivated psychology. I mean, the intelligence knows what a barbarian lies at our soul. We're not cavemen anymore. We have the diagrams. We can figure out the analysis. We have the statistics. We're not ignorant. We're not blinded by our deficit, our borged position. We are elevated to see. We can look up and it's a mirror and we can see the game now. Intelligence, like say the mirror was just covered with condensation, and it's like, intelligence is wiping the condensation off and you can see the game. There's no evidence in the entire systems, all these mammals. We can see what runs them. We can see that the system is whip and carrot, and, or whip and non-whip.
Starving to death.
I mean, it's just silly. Again, why should I pay attention if it's not broken? If it's in a state of mind that is not torment, why should I pay attention? Why should it get attention? Why does it need to be fixed? Why does it need the thing called attention? What is attention for other than to fix it? The whole point of empathy is to act, to create a fix, to prevent the suffering or to mitigate the stuff that exists now. There's no other point to empathy. There's no point in me feeling bad and doing nothing. If I know something else is being ground up to provide the fuel that makes me run, how can I not recognize this truth as making me accountable for something? That I somehow have to account for what was ground up. That if to make me, you torture something else, that torture has to somehow be justified by something I'm doing. I have to be having some kind of experience. Now, if the heroin was sitting there and it was utopia heroin, no negative side effects whatsoever for me. Okay, I just get to feel great for a week. I would never take it if I knew the price of it was some 10-year-old kid has to feel awful for an hour. I know that the bad was greater than the superficial good because I don't need the heroin. I don't need to elevate my condition because my condition is not horrendously negative. It's not enough negative to justify imposing more negative on somebody else, a greater deficit. Whatever the steady state condition, that's what the 10-year-old would be in if I don't make him worse. So I'm obviously making him worse to make me better, and in my opinion, you can't do that. You can't justify it. It's not reasonable. The idea is that some people, because of their position when the ball rolled over them, they're born in some horrible shithole and they'll never get a high school education and they'll never see the information. They'll never see the big picture. Never be able to see it. They won't have the glasses for it. And some others will have the opportunity. And the more dense we make the memes, the more likely the ball, when it hits somebody, is going to give it to them. They're not going to be able to escape it as a condition of existence. The understanding that what you want when you're a child and how you behave when you're a child is going to be different than how you behave when you're mature, when you've been informed about how the game is played. That's the telling metaphor here.